just enough that you think, because what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around here, wrap it around a few times, and then wrap it around here. The first thing we want to do is create our loop. At least I learned something the first time. That was the other thing that I've mentioned before, is that if you're interested, I was thinking about doing some from scratch. I mean, start from the design. What I'd have is some paper in front and start drawing and coming up with another design. Now, either that, is that one? Well, okay. Okay, then let's take some of the extras off here. Now you want to make sure this is dry when doing this, because I've done it when it was mostly dry and it kind of fell apart like an idiot, you know. Now you want to be kind of careful. I want to try to see if I can keep my fingers on just the bundle. I don't like that little bump there. And then I'm going to come around on the outside, back on the inside. So we're still holding the logs together towards this stick. Now we want to bring this along a few times, like we're holding together the logs itself. And like I said, it does add a little extra strength, but don't pull on too hard. Till we get, now we're going to do the same thing in reverse. And then come over on, we're on this side, now we're going to go on that side. Okay, now comes the fun part. See, what would have been nice if we had been able to get the loop over. So this is where you're going to need some care. This is where everything's going to go nutsy if you're not careful. So I'm going to hold it. Hopefully, I can hold it. Yeah, it's not going to all unwind. I hope. Got it. Hurry up! Don't breathe. Don't breathe. Can we get in there? Yes, we can. I want to pull on this so it's tight. Make sure nothing comes loose. Let's see if we can do this again. Oh, am I out of... I'm sorry. Hope you caught the first part. Just loop and hold it tight with your thumb. Snip it. Now I don't know if we want to, maybe I should have tucked it in or something, but maybe it doesn't matter that it's hanging out like that. It should add a little extra. So there we are on this. Oh, that did, hopefully it wasn't too loose. Like I said, it was enough to make it so it holds together. And it looks like it's been held together. Okay. Now, before we shut down here, it just occurred to me, that's one of the things about design, is you forget something and, okay, here he is, he's walking there, he's doing his thing, he's got his sticks and some here's logs. Well, the question is, what did he use to cut it with? And so I thought, well, just for the heck of it, I'll add the little axe. Now see, the thing is here, this is what I wasn't thinking of, unless you want to have him carrying a saw, is that these sticks are all nice and cleanly cut instead of whacked. So you can take your knife and whack the other ends like it was whacked from a axe. Silly me. that's one of the things about designing and keep changing things up. I always like working with cutouts instead of blockouts, as you can change things around and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll show you. Here's the axe as far as I just drew this out. This is not from, I don't know, unless you want to go look in the internet and whatever you want to use. But one of the things I want to use, this is I think this is a piece of scrap wood. That's why it's funny looking. Looked in my scrap box, my burn box, and I cut this out. And I think probably the only thing that, probably this end is probably, what would that be? Probably a 3/8 of an inch to maybe a 1/2 inch. Be on the safe side. The thing, when I start carving this down, of course the blade is going to go inside where the wood is sticking out. Same with this. This is the metal part on the other side of the blade. That's going to be coming out. Or that's going to go in, which the wood is going to be out. But I want to have this little extra thing here, maybe some kind of like a leather strap or something, out from the handle, because then what we're going to do is I'm going to drill a hole, put either a little dowel or a toothpick, drill on this side here, and then that would add for extra support. I think that. Now I'm going to choose this side instead of this side. The reason why is because this side has more action. I like the action here. So when we put this on, it's going to display kind of in this kind of a manner instead of the other way around. Because I like the leg lift up action here, so it's going to go on this side. All right, simple. This is a very simple thing. And again, you get to watch me come up with something kind of out of my head, kind of a thing. And I think sometimes it is fun. I just take a piece of scrap wood and just draw on it. You could also do the same thing by adding. I'm going to do this very simple. Just simply an axe and a piece of wood. You can add either twine around it, like we did with the wood, or you can pencil it in and carve it in. I'm just going to do this very simple. And the rest is just simply cutting it to the right size. And I got to, since this is a piece of scrap wood, I got to figure out the grain is going. Yeah, I think the grain is going this way. And the bad thing about using scrap wood is sometimes you can't get the right. So keeping my thumb there. I'm going to start trimming the wood a little bit. Now, of course, you got to be careful, don't cut towards yourself, but when I do, I always have my thumb there. There we go. And it depends on how fancy you want this. You know, maybe, I'm sure you caught me several times cutting towards myself. And we had one gentleman, woodcarver, he's no longer with us. He was one of those, he was way one of those, you never, ever, 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 ever cut towards yourself. And he's one of those that likes to put it on a tripod. You're carving on a tripod. And I still remember at one of our shows, he was demonstrating to the people around, and he said, you never cut towards yourself. When you have a chisel, you always have this hand on this hand. See, if you're doing this, then you can't cut yourself on the chisel. The same with the knife, is keep your other hand out of the way, and you put your hands like this, and you never cut towards yourself. And I still remember seeing his face looking at the crowd as if he was waiting for somebody to say, "You're wrong. I dare you say I'm wrong." But yeah, every time I cut towards myself, I think of him. I mean, he is right. I mean, I'm not saying anything against it. It's just that I got to a point where, I use cutting this way more for details, because at the worst case, if it slips, I'm not going to take a hand off or a finger off. A little extra here. But you know, that's as soon as somebody says, "Oh, I never got cut and I never will," well, you know what happens. Yeah. So I'm always, I think that's another one of those things from us from Minnesota. We are kind of the Scandinavian paranoid, you know. You never say things about good fortune, because all of a sudden, and it'll happen to you. Don't be saying that it won't. So, and I hate it when we're in the clubs and we start talking. "Oh yeah, I remember one time I cut my hand," and yeah, not while I'm carving here, you know. And then, well, first I gotta put the knife down, because I got a itch in my ear. Took me a while to get the hang of that, is to put the knife down if you're going to reach up to your face. But no, it never happens to me. I hope I didn't goof it up. I think I may have goofed it up here a little bit. I gotta scratch my nose. Again, paying attention. Yeah, I did kind of goof it up a little bit here, so let's shrink this up. And it's a matter of keep whacking it down until it just looks like a hatchet, an axe. Oh, wait a second. Did I goof here in the cut and the chisel here? We want more of it off. More of this. There we go. Well, I'm thinking about turning the camera off. You just keep cutting until, and I get it done, and then I get it attached, or how I will attach it is probably more important than just watching me whack away at this thing. But you keep cutting, and just like I said, I'll turn the camera off. I'll just do a little bit of this here, just a little bit, because it's going to be against his side, so we don't have to shrink it too much. But anyways, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to keep cutting away until it looks good, and then I'll be back, show you how I connect it, and go from there. Be right back. Okay, there he is. Now, I didn't glue this on yet. I just used actually a toothpick. I just carved it. I mean, it's still probably not right, but I've kept it to the flat plane, so I use flat cuts. And then I just drilled a hole for a toothpick. Took a piece of pencil, wrapped in a pencil, put on there to see where the lead is, if you can see where the lead goes. Drilled the 2 holes. 2 halves make a hole? No. And I made sure that it was out of the way of the stick. Okay, so there he is there. Now we'll put this back in here very carefully. Now when you put this in or pull it out, you want to put it, when you glue this together and you pull it out carefully, you pull it out both sticks at the same time. You don't want to pull one stick out and then this would bend and then it would break. But let's see if it's going to work after all the work I've done. Now I had it so that some of the stick will be probably about 3/8. There he is. Like I said, I like it this way. Careful, don't put too much pressure on. I think it still needs a little more drying, the glue. We want to have some of this sticking out. The feet are still, well, somewhat, it rocks a little bit. But we want to keep the feet square on the ground. And there he is. The gnome carrying the sticks. Again, my name is Russell Scott from Scott Carvings. See my carvings, scottcarvings.com. Also on pinterest.com/rscott56. And there you are. Until next time.